What's up, you guys? It's Zamara, and tonight I bring you another video. Um, it's funny because I just got through uploading one video and I was actually napping as it uploaded because the connection has been pretty slow. But anyway, um, I just wanted to get this out of the way because I feel like I have been um, kind of slacking when it comes to filming, and I don't like it when I get in that situation. And I'm also kind of bummed out again about some things, so I feel like this is going to help me feel better. Every time I talk, I just feel better. Um, well, on this round, I wanted to discuss the importance of having a job where you're working directly with people, because I feel like a lot of my abilities and who I am as a person, my job working with people has helped with that a lot. Like, I am nearly not as shy as I used to be, and I find myself communicating even better than I already used to. So, for instance, one of the things that this helps with is it helps you get comfortable with speaking to all kinds of people, like different ethnicity, different age, different race, different background, different mentalities, different physical abilities or physical handicaps, and all of that is important because not everybody is going to manifest in the same way. You're going to have people who will need extra help with the simplest of things, and other times someone is going to be asking you something really simple, but they may have a language barrier, and that makes them a little more challenging. But when you learn to deal with that, you just become an overall better person because you develop that patience and even more creative ways of presenting and communicating the same thing, but accommodating those who it's difficult for. Um, Additionally, if you are a shy person, um, it helps you when you expose yourself to people. It just helps because communicating, talking, speaking, that's just a part of it. And there is no way that you're going to last there very long if you cannot overcome being surrounded by people. So I used to just flat out not really like to be surrounded by people. I just had weird fears, but ever since I work um, exposed to people, being at the front where everybody sees me, it's different. Um, Another thing is that it's not an easy job because it's really unpredictable. And for instance, you might have a person who you're used to seeing and they behave in a certain way. Let's say they're pleasant all the time. Well, they may show up one day and something happens to where they're not as happy, as kind or lovely as they normally are. It's either because they had a bad experience with a product, or they may have challenges outside of what you see, and then that's when you're empowered to even help make this person's day just smoother. So that's one of those things that you really don't consider until it happens to you or until you see it. Additionally, your knowledge just expands because sometimes when you greet somebody, the first thing they tell you is, "Oh, are you ready for the storm?" And if you're one of those people who does not keep track of the news or the weather, that's a good way to find out. I am a weather aficionado, so I know what's happening with the weather all the time. But I remember there was a time in which I didn't have TV and I rarely had internet connection. So people were mentioning how there was a really bad winter storm on the way, and I was like, oh, thanks for saying something because otherwise I wouldn't have found out. Um, and people also give you ideas as to what to do with something or how to cook something or what to get or what's happening downtown and stuff like that. Um, Also, your self-confidence is boosted because if you're doing a good job, people tell you, and it feels great. Like, I know that the positive reinforcement that I have gotten from doing a good job has certainly transformed me and just made me have less self-doubt, because that's something I have struggled with throughout my life. I just have insecurities, and knowing that I can manifest myself in my job, be perfectly normal, and people find that great, it's, it helps, period. Um, Another thing is that you learn to think on the go. And what I mean by this is, like I was saying earlier, everybody's different. So when you're accommodating someone, you will pull out tricks from your sleeve that you had no idea you could execute. And it's great, especially if you're a creative person or if you just need to learn to be more alert. This is a job for you. Think working with people. Another thing is, since you're exposed to a lot of people with different needs and different stuff going on, sometimes someone sick may show up to you, to your office or to your line or whatever kind of job working with people you have, and suddenly they may pass out right in front of you, and you may be in the right spot at the right time to help them from getting hurt, prevent them from getting hurt, and even, call an ambulance just on time to save a person's life. I haven't had to do that yet, but it happened close to me. So that's what I'm saying. Additionally, I feel like this type of jobs, you get better at improvising too. Because sometimes it's like, oh wow, how do I address this topic, or how do I go about this job or this task, and or how do I start a conversation, and you just improvise, and that's another very important skill to have. Another thing I have experienced is that my mind has opened up a bit more when it comes to people's opinions and matters, issues, political and all that stuff, because if you were one of those people who grew up really lonely, it's like you missed out on more views from other people. And this type of job just helps, because someone at some point is going to start rambling about something that you're not very fond of, but it's nice to listen to them because they may provide insight that you otherwise wouldn't have considered. And for me, that has transformed me as a person and just made me overall better. And when it comes to boosting my creativity, someone might always talk to you about music, like, oh, the music that plays on this radio, I wish it were a little more diverse. And then you ask them, oh, what kind of diversity do you wish for? And then they might spit out a genre or an artist's name, and then you look them up, and if you're like me who practices music, you find yourself learning of a new artist and expose yourself to another genre and practice more and come up with your own tunes, and everything is better for everybody. Oh, another very important thing is networking. I have met some amazing people that I otherwise would not have met had I not had an opportunity to work directly with people. You know, um, especially if you work retail, you're going to have all kinds of people who, they need to eat, so they will go to your store. And you see people of different socioeconomic backgrounds and everything, and you even get to meet them when they're expecting to be parents, and then you meet the kids, and then you see the kids grow. And I always say, hey, I remember you from before we even met you. Little things like that, and that's pretty exciting. And sometimes I have needed help and I didn't know whom to recur to, and I just randomly started, expressing myself to just people who to me appeared like they might know about a situation I have, and they could offer the best advice. And yeah, I have gotten such great results that, I encourage everybody to just talk to people. People offer amazing things. And then the last thing that I can think of is that you may meet your next best friend and your next savior. And it has happened to me, and I am very grateful. But at the same time, not everything is positive. You will meet people who may not have the best of intentions, and you have to take care of that. But, as you get older, get experience, and all that, all of that becomes very obvious and apparent, and you remain safer. All right, you guys, that is all that I have for you right now. Thank you so much for tuning in, like always. I hope I didn't sound so mumbly. It's just that it is past midnight, and I'm trying to have loud enough tone, but at the same time not explosive. Not that I'm like that, but yeah. And yeah, so what do you guys think? What are your experiences working with people? What are your career choices like? Have you ever feared being exposed in public? I know I do all the time. Even though I have overcome a lot of the things that, were challenging for me in this department, some things just never leave you, but it's good that they don't leave you because it helps keep you safe. All right, you guys, that's it. I'll see you soon.